Dignitas.
Woo!
Dignitas.
They did it.
But can they close it out? That's going to be the question. They ran it back from game one in terms of their Braum, Ivern.
Yep.
Team Liquid definitely caught a little bit sleepy, I would say, in this game. Even in the draft, they missed a ban in 4-5. The Poppy just made it so impossible for the Viego Renekton to teamfight. Emily, what do you think of this one?
Well, and it didn't look like that was going to be the case, right? Because Impact in that lane got ahead. The fights we're seeing now were at the point where Dig could kind of just end up rolling over them. But
Yeah.
I thought that TL actually forced a lot of plays early when they really didn't have to. In particular, I'm thinking of that Rift Herald bot, but there were a few other ones as well that I think really helped Dig kind of stay into it, into the point where their team fights just looked like this.
Yeah, and we said this within the draft that, I mean, Dignitas shouldn't really be changing their drafting strategy at all. Like, as long as you don't get to the 5-minute mark and you're not down 4 kills like in game 1, it's a positive. It's a really tough composition for Team Liquid to walk into with the Braum, Ivern, Kalista, Tristana, so double AD carry with a Braum and with a lot of, I guess, support from the Ivern pick. I think it's even harder for Team Liquid in this game because you don't have the Jax with Counter-Strike and you don't have the Cassiopeia that can deal with AD carries a little bit easier. And in this case, they just had a Renekton, Leona, and Viego that actually just does a lot worse. So much loved Dignitas, and they recognized that they didn't really need to make that many changes.
Oh my God. Just a couple of sheep, I guess. I mean, this is Dignitas themselves.
They're goats, aren't they? It's a goat. It's a pond
Oh, I'm an idiot. Because, I mean, I'm all about the self-deprecating jokes here, and I thought they were just calling a bunch of animals.
No, they're goats.
But they're goats.
Dig goats.
I understand. I understand now.
Oh my God.
There's 2 ways you can view anything in life. You're either a goat
I'm the
or a
optimistic side, yeah.
I
They're
feel like,
hyping themselves up.
yep, they are. That's the case. If that was after game 1, different meaning. It was after game 2, though, where the series is even. Vibes are still high for Dignitas, and I feel like they're in such an interesting spot here because even though we talked about at the start of the day how there's 3 clear top teams in the LCS. There's Team Liquid and C9 who are undefeated, and there's FlyQuest who have only lost to Team Liquid. However, Dignitas has now taken a game off of both Cloud9 and Team Liquid. That's not really going to matter unless they can take the second one. So now that they have moved to the red side because Team Liquid lost and got side select for game 3, this is the one that really counts. They kind of threw away game 1 by getting solo killed in every single lane. Team Liquid got really loose, let them run back a really strong team composition, and now this is the one that's really going to matter.
Yeah, and I'm really curious to see how draft does end up panning out here because obviously I think the keeping UmTi off of the Maokai and Sejuani has been really, really big for them, recognizing. And the Viego pick, I don't want to go too win rate heavy in UmTi's champions because he's been on a lot of rough team situations.
If you had one word to describe UmTi's Viego, what would it be?
I'm not going to use one word, but I am going to say all of his worst tendencies of like overextending, of really, really going in for the play. I think his strength can be that he is so hyper aggressive on certain champions. But with Viego, you can get punished for that very easily. And I think we actually saw that in the game that we just watched.
And Jatt, to piggyback off something you said, can they actually finish the series on a win? Because they find themselves in game 3s a few times already. So I'm assuming they're really in the good graces of a tiebreaker situation at the end of the split. But the point that I'm making is my focus is going to be on Licorice. He's had 2 bad games already. The first one was, of course, bad all around for everybody on the team. But the second game, he really fell behind, lost a lot of poor trades to Impact. Impact's had a really good series on him. He needs to step up here.
He really has. And Team Liquid is definitely pivoting their draft here in game 3. If Dignitas is going to ban out junglers, hell, Team Liquid's going to ban out some junglers too. Ivern and Zyra already taken off the table. So we're going to have a very different look here in game 3.
And I'm really curious to see what TL decides is high prio enough to first pick as we see that Corki being taken off the table. If they are going to go with the Trist like Dig did in their first 2 games, it was pretty obvious there that Dig really wanted to go for this Trist Ivern composition, and then with the Braum shield on top of it, Trist removed.
Rumble's
so it doesn't
available.
matter.
a few teams will go towards a Rumble first pick. Team Liquid is just a different type of team. A lot of times they'll go to, I know that the Draven was covered. Ashe is another one that's actually far more of a prime pick. They will usually go for 4-5 onto a top lane. So Rumble, they usually deprioritize that. Hell, they're one of the only teams that go for a Nautilus priority first pick. So we'll have to see what they go for. There it is.
It is interesting to see the Ziggs prio over the Ashe prio, actually, just because Ashe has been such a menace, like this year overall. And I'm really curious to see if, to Raz's point when we went through the last draft, if they are looking at potentially flexing that between bot and mid, leaving that open in draft going into the 4-5 bans.
Yeah, usually the fear is that you're going up against a Varus Ashe or a Kalista Ashe, something that makes it so it's unlaneable. Now, Team Liquid is such a good lane-swapping team, as you saw in Game 1, that they're probably not as afraid as other players, and then they can go back into the same lane, level 3, and just play that out from there. So I think that's probably them saying that we can actually have in-game adaptations to deal with it.
Yeah, and let's see what. Okay, so this is going to be the Ezreal and the Leona for Dig. Leona is something that we've seen Isles play a lot. He's really, really comfortable on that. I think the Ashe is still really good. Theoretically, TL could still pick it here for their bot lane. I think not only the laning prowess that you already touched upon, Raz, but just the absolute utility that she has. She makes other junglers' lives miserable.
Yeah, bit of a map.
That arrow is usually perma up. So we'll see what they decide to go with here.
Ooh, this has to be Kalista Renata. I mean, this is just something that, well, it doesn't have to be, but I know that Yeon and CoreJJ, as lane dominant as they have been, have gone towards really hard winning lanes, and that's usually been the go-to. That being said, looks like it's going to be the Ashe.
Yep.
Ashe was still up. I really love the point of Team Liquid almost intimidating Dig away from picking Ashe because it would force a lane swap. Now, though, Team Liquid has an incredibly dominant duo lane.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that much Ashe Renata because oftentimes you just can't get Ashe.
True.
So it's a combo that we are not super familiar with, but you have to imagine that it's going to be extremely potent in the 2v2.
The one person that's going to have a really tough life is going to be Isles. He's going to be the one that is going to be in range of Ashe, that's perpetually slowing you, don't want to be in range of handshakes. Seems like a really easy gank setup, so I'm sure UmTi, now thinking about his pick, is going to be looking at bot lane a little bit more sharply.
Yeah, and then we see the blind Renekton coming in for Dignitas. They decide either this is what Licorice kind of wants to play, or they just don't want to necessarily give that over to Impact after the last game, as we see Cassante removed. And we'll see what else Dig want to throw in there, but obviously Licorice just telling them, I don't want to face Cassante.
Yeah, and I think it's mostly Licorice saying, I really want Renekton, and Jensen saying, I'm fine with these 3 champions, because we know exactly what APA is already playing, so Jensen would have been free to pick into a matchup, but Licorice instead wants to blind pick, and now the bans are flying at Jensen.
Yeah, and you know, theoretically, they could also flex the Ezreal mid. We've seen that. We've seen that from other teams. Ezreal mid is, in my opinion, not as strong as something like a Lucian mid, which we've seen over in LPL and LCK. We've also seen Zeri mid over there, but they could also flex that into the mid lane for Jensen if they want, and then pick something else for Zven in that bot lane.
To round out Dig's comp, though, it might go straight into poke. Like, one of Jensen's best champions has been Hwei, and if you have a Renekton, you can actually couple it up with something like a Nidalee that Spica is known for, at least in solo queue. So then you have Ezreal, Hwei, Nidalee, great poke for what Team Liquid has to offer. So these are the type of things that they could round their comp out with. I do love what they have already because it seems like it's pretty malleable. You can go any way or any direction with this comp. So interested in to see what it lines up with.
Morgana, one of the AP junglers that was actually not touched on this patch. TL recognizing what a good pick that was for Dig.
Yeah.
And throwing that in the 4-5 bans as well, I think is interesting.
Vi pick, though. Well, we'll see what they end up locking in. We saw, who was it, Showmaker last night going for a Twisted Fate pick, so could be an easy call out there.
Really?
Oh, we are returning to the Jensen Zillion.
Or it needs to pair with something. Like, as much as it's a crazy throwback, is this like a Hecarim angle now for Spica? because
or a Xin maybe.
Yeah, they want to pair it with
Xin
a Kindred, a Xin, a Hecarim, that type of jungler. So, I mean, I love it that they're pulling, you know, turning back the clock for Jensen and throwing him on Zillion again. It's been a while since he's played this in the LCS.
It's been a while, and also I was wondering what Dig was going to go to now that they're pushed out of their Ivern composition. See what it is. They picked away the Xin Zhao, and now they're hovering over the Urgot. So I wonder now that Xin Zhao's out of that bag, what is Spica going to turn to with all the support from from Jensen here?
Yeah, I think picking away the Xin is really interesting. We'll see what Impact wants in this top lane.
I kind of think he actually plays Hecarim. I know that sounds weird,
Spica?
but yeah, because it's a good Zillion pair. I don't think Spica's Kindred is that crazy, but it's Kindred. Okay.
Now there it is.
All right.
Wow. Here we go. Kindred Zillion. Same story as when Jensen arrived on the scene with Blabber, when Blabber arrived on the scene with Jensen, and they just let him go ham on Kindred.
Yeah.
This is a great game 3. I'm glad we're getting it.
I love how Spica is now. This is the second Zillion player he's going to be playing alongside. And, I mean, they must have practiced this relentlessly. I like the composition from Dignitas, but I need to see the execution. That's going to be it from us, though. We're going to be sending it straight to Flowers and hearing what their take's going to be on this one. Send it over, casters.
Thank you very much, everybody. All right, it's time for our third game in this series, one that I'm sure plenty of people out there were even skeptical would occur, but after game number 2, after Dignitas' bounce back from the rather one-sided game number 1, here we are. The Zillion for Jensen in the mid lane, the Xin Zhao versus Kindred in the jungle matchup. Kobe, I'm pretty stoked for this one.
Super excited for game number 3 here. Best of 3s I feel like are really fun when you do get that clap back. We actually got to see a fairly salty run back. It wasn't like every single champion the same, but Dignitas actually proved themselves and say, hey, you know what? Yeah, as long as we don't mess up so early and give you a massive gold lead, then we will win with this, you know, team fight comp with the Ivern. And then they get the adaptation where Team Liquid are finally banning the Ivern now away from Spica, so they can't do it again. And now we get the tier 3 here where Jensen whips out his Zillion once again, bringing back an old favorite here for himself and allowing Spica to play one of the carry junglers. Now, Jensen, for the record here, I just want to say, because, you know, all of the Zillion hype was always really focused on Bjergsen when these two were in the league, but Jensen has an 84% win rate on Zillion with 19 games played.
Okay.
This is his highest win rate champion, and it's top like 10, 15, even like 20, I'm scrolling down here, champions for him to play. So massive success has been had for him historically.
Those machine gun noises that you heard at the very start of the game was Spica and Zven perma-pinging the Zillion until the ping wouldn't work anymore. This kind of goes along with the emote flashing at each other from the previous game. I'm still wondering what all the lore.
Also, Dignitas, it just makes me always want these listen-ins on dig comms. Like, I need an investigator. I need an inside agent to go like put a bug on one of them and get some of these little spicy inside Dignitas comms. I feel like this team probably has the funniest comms of any of the teams.
I was gonna say, Kobe, this is official broadcast. I feel like we would maybe be able to listen to 3/4 of a second of official Dignitas comms with Spica, Zven, and Jensen being on there, and then we'd have to pull a whoopsie and get out of town.
Pull a whoopsie. Yeah,
I'm just saying,
oops,
man.
Didn't mean to do that.
Yep, our bad.
I had no idea that was gonna happen. I will also say, too, Kindred got, like, slight nerfs.
Hold on.
Never mind.
Yeon and Zven both almost dead. And look at that. CoreJJ gets the auto attack for the first blood, but it's going to be returned by Isles. Both AD carries drop dead 2 minutes into the game.
Support Kingdom. Who's the real carry down there in bottom lane, Flowers? CoreJJ and Isles both getting their kills, but Core got the first blood, so gets the bonus there. Let's take another look at the early lead. Yeon got the first shot. So Yeon got that first auto and the W hit onto Zven. The poke, like everything is landing here. CoreJJ got it, made use of the shield too. Then Isles went in with his stun, got the cleanse out, got the ignite, but CoreJJ flashed first, so he got the first kill. So they got the bonus money. Talk about the wave on the bottom side, though. Yeon had not gotten any CS, so he walks all the way back without having any, and then finally starts to get some here. Neither of them got to buy anything, though.
Yeah, the purchases.
So, actually, the refillable potion.
Yeah.
Nice there.
Ooh, hold on. UmTi going after Spica. Xin Zhao's so strong in the jungle, such a powerful duelist. One more auto attack might get it done, but no. Spica grabbing the heal there with that auto attack means that he's not in danger of getting flash single autoed to death. But UmTi forcing the enemy jungler out of his jungle. Remember that Spica hasn't even secured his own blue buff yet, and UmTi has control over this quadrant now, especially with Yeon and CoreJJ threatening to crash the wave into the turret.
Yeah, let's see about his ability to grab the early marks here, because early mark being on a Scuttle Crab, if UmTi leaves up bottom Scuttle Crab, nice. So he goes for blue buff first, and since they have the pushing bottom lane, they actually got lucky on getting it. Isles gets yoinked in.
Yeah, Isles in some trouble here. 200 HP. Needs to get away. And yes, sir, he will. 100 HP left in the tank, and Spica's ready to join. CoreJJ now in trouble. Down to 200 in his own right. Core needs to run away, but Spica's ready to flash forward and grab the first kill. More might be on the menu as Yeon and UmTi both try to escape, but Spica still in hot pursuit. The last arrow finds Yeon's heart, and Dignitas goes up 3-1.
Yeah, Spica, once he arrives after the recall, came back, longsword in hand. They get the kills on bottom side after the long play flowers, and they get the Scuttle Crab as well. They get that extra mark for Spica. Quite nice there. Dignitas a little bit rocky early on, but swings back really heavily in their favor with the extra kills going through. 2 of them, by the way, onto this carry jungle that you picked the Zillion mid for. Like, this is ideal, Flowers. Even after getting shoved out of his own jungle early, he's like, fine, I'll just come back. I wanted to reset for an extra longsword anyways. And grab my extra 2 kills, grab my my first mark down there, and things really looking up for the Dig season.
And hey, it's an in-game advantage on the bottom half of the map, but it's a mental advantage in the top half, because this is the first game of the 3 that Licorice is not stuck underneath the turret. He gets to play freely. He doesn't have to sit there the whole time. Oh no, did I just...
Yeah, I was watching the screen while you were...
Licorice, I'm so sorry, buddy. I really didn't mean to do that. I don't have anything against you. But APA, that last bomb over the wall ain't quite going to do it, but the flash for the follow. APA gets the kill, and Licorice goes home in a casket. Spica, at least just trying to chase after APA, not going to get a whole lot here. UmTi clearing through his own Gromp, but with Jensen over the wall, if we could get a double bomb stun here, it might actually turn into something. Over the wall it goes. Now Spica ready to follow it up. APA is going to try to help, but the problem is he doesn't have a lot of mana here to work with. UmTi's taken low, but Spica's taken lower. UmTi heals back up with a triumph. APA is the one to take the bomb, and he just walks it away from his jungler. Team Liquid responding nicely.
Impact flashes over and lays down the hammer to finish it off. They get the kill, and UmTi survived on 1 more tick of HP left. He does not go down, so it swings back, Flowers. Fun little seesaw ride we're on here in the early game for this one. It's not quite to the point where you, on Kindred Zillion, you really want your level 6s. I don't think this one's going to result in any death, but we do get a cleanse out. But on the Kindred Zillion, you know, with the early kills onto the Kindred, maybe they were thinking they could do a little bit more than they actually could here with it being pushed in towards Impact, and the Impact just flashes over to help out as well with that little kind of fight to the death there. So some money back onto the side of Team Liquid.
It's so close, man. This is the best early game so far, unless you're a diehard Team Liquid fan, in which case the first game's early game was the best one by far. But this is the action-packed close one. Back in the mid lane, Isles trying to show up here, help out a little bit. Up in topside, you can see Team Liquid making a play for this Dignitas Renekton of Licorice, but it ain't going to work out that well. UmTi not going to find any more success up here just yet, as APA will continue shoving the wave back in mid. You're going to see Jensen utilize that Zillion passive there to bring Isles up to level 5. CoreJJ about to hit that naturally himself. UmTi going to try to start up these grubs. Dignitas secured the first one for themselves, but were not able to maintain control over this topside river long enough to get the entire trio.
I love just drive-by smiting 1 grub. It's so quick and easy to burn 1. Here we go.
Ooh, Isles trying to get back away there. UmTi went for the wind becomes lightning, but missed it, so he couldn't contribute any damage to that, so Isles can still get away.
Yeah, they're a little yoink back and don't quite hit it, and so they can't finish, but Isles, that just allows him to save his flash. Did have the flash, and like when you're Leona, you're fine with burning it.
Oh!
Packed.
Nice, yeah. He taunts the lizard to come back into the volcanic rock thing. Well, actually, no, it's not a volcanic rock thing. It's a choo-choo train killer.
Yeah, exactly. This is, I mean, I would say softly inspired by your idea. You know?
Yeah, I'll take
very, very close.
I'll take that. Inspired by.
With the trucker.
Yeah.
The train is more universal than a trucker, I'd say, maybe.
Yeah. Truckers might not be everywhere. Like, I don't know if Australia has truckers, but Australia probably has trains.
Wait a second, though. Spica sneaking through the jungle.
Okay. Does he make it in time? Immediate engage coming out bot side. Dignitas going in, but they ain't going to find it just yet. Yeon getting out of the way in time with a nice flash, and Team Liquid just outplays him 2v2.
Was he doing the Krugs? Can we get the toggle on the Fog of War there? Interesting. They went right into the tower, and that is going to be another delivery. Isles does upgrade for Boots of Swiftness here, so we'll see this Leona get very active too, and level 6 is going to be acquired pretty soon for him, but Isle goes beeline. So Spica is here on the outside, but he walks back. He had walked back to go the other way, but Isles wanted to go straight through the front door right into the tower, but since CoreJJ had walked down lane, it just turned out to be a disaster. That's one of those things where, you know, the support comes walking right back. Man, they had a little bit desync there between Spica and Isles also. Spica was going back around the other side and just going straight into the tower dive, and it just got real messy.
And now Isles rotating up into the top lane to make the moves here on Impact. He tries to get himself away there with the Orn Horn. Maybe.
No way he can get back to the rest
down
of the
again,
team, right?
But no, the slice goes forward. Dominus damage over time is too much, and Licorice going to cash in with his first kill of the game.
UmTi is able to secure his Gromp, but not much more, as Jensen leads the way for Spica to come counter jungle and steal away blue here. See if he gets back to lane as this wave crashes as well. Yeah. Successful blue steal. 1 melee lost. That's all the price that you have to pay for your blue buff steal. That's quite nice. Yep. Getting your kindred carry here really off the ground.
Any day of the week. All right. 500 gold lead for the side of Team Liquid. 2-1 in terms of the grubs. First Drake of the game has still not been claimed by either side 10 minutes in, especially with that being an Ocean Drake. I'm a little bit surprised.
Yeah, I mean, there's been so much focus on these kills on both sides of the map. Has taken a lot of the focus off of that dragon stacking and those dragon objectives, I would say. Since they split grubs as well up on the top side, pretty interesting to see since it's so delayed for dragons now. I think the priority, it's kind of a thing where, like, if you don't get them early, then the priority continues to drop, because then you're like, well, even the soul would be so far away. What's the point now? And they continue to focus on lane presence and kills first. Looks like this spawn of the Scuttle Crab mark is going to be defended for now by Dig.
Okay.
Because they've got the mid priority.
And they immediately jump in on UmTi. They want to make the fight happen. UmTi with a Crescent Guard doing a good job staying alive, but he doesn't stay alive long enough. Spica's grabbing the first kill here. Remember, the Lamb's Respite still available as Zven and Jensen both continue trying to find additional damage on Yeon, but APA joins up, and his threat is enough to force Dignitas back.
Wait, so he got the Scuttle Crab mark denied at the very least.
He got that.
So is that a W?
I don't know if that's worth.
I think we typed W and we're like, that's worth.
Yeah.
That is worth.
That's a worth in all chat, but if
also,
we were to analyze that,
I'm checking right now. Usually you mark enemy jungle, but Kindred still only has 1 mark from the first Scuttle Crab, so he didn't have him UmTi marked for that kill. Interesting. So they actually successfully denied a mark there.
I mean, they still
at the price of
gave the dude a kill
of your life.
Yeah, that's a little rough. Zven going after Yeon here, looking for the turret dive, doesn't find the Mystic shot, does ultimately complete the job. Zven gets the kill. Unfortunately, that minion wave means he has to take the long way out, but he does have his support and jungler blocking any sort of interference route from the enemy team.
Wow, that bottom priority is really snowballing. Zven going with the solo tower dive while his jungler just does dragon. Spica in the dragon pit will pick up the first one. Zven pushes in the extra wave here. TL at least trying to get the consolation prize on the other side of the map. Yeah. It should be uncontested because all of Dignitas' resources went to the bottom half of the map, but at least Team Liquid do get to their Void Might spawn here. They at least got the 4, should be able to pick up number 5 here as well. Yep. For the extra little bit of dot damage for their split pushing attempts.
Makes Dig even happier than in that first set you managed to just drive by and take one away like you were talking about, keep them away from getting to that 6 point where you have all of the extra pushing power with the double Void Mites. Licorice under a little bit of pressure up here as they try to crash this wave into the turret, find a little bit of extra damage. With Ziggs, it's so important too. If you just give him a little bit of time with those turret plates, if he can get it down to 1.5 plates, remember the satchel will just detonate the whole thing.
Spica, all right, he's got Kraken Slayer and the Merc Treads. So you are at least danger of dying to getting CC comboed here with your Merc Treads. Meanwhile, we'll take a look at this dive first. Zven's able to finish it off with the autos. But you have your tenacity, so you don't get CC comboed. So you will be able to get your ultimate off. Not to mention you also have the Zillion on your team to further ensure that. But having the Kraken Slayer done here for the DPS, this Kindred jungle fully accelerated by the Zillion now. Level 11 for Jensen as well. Dings up, and he's actually split pushing on the Zillion while Zven is under attack mid.
Nice, calm, cool, collected there from Zven, not just running straight back to safety, sidestepping away from the arrow, back towards the Xin Zhao who had already used the cooldowns. And now UmTi and CoreJJ coming down here into the bottom lane. It's been Impact and APA trying to put pressure on the tier 1 turret. Licorice has lost most of his health bar defending this thing. You saw him just trying to slice and dice through the minion waves, clear them all out earlier. Has been able to successfully keep the turret standing for now. 14 minutes into the game, 500 gold lead for Dignitas. Plates have all fallen off. Only one Drake taken. 5-1 in the grubs, favoring TL. It's been a really good early game just in terms of competition between the two teams so far in Game 3.
All right, let's see. As we rotate the AD carries towards mid, on your first item completion here. Zven Trinity Force versus Static Shiv for Yeon. Spica again going to be able to control Scuttle Crab here first as they move in, and then get their reset for Isles to go replenish his wards. Meanwhile, Renekton on bottom side here for Licorice is getting his split pushing done. Everybody here from TL has been sent up to the Rift Herald fight, so they're fully committing for this top side. Jensen's got his ult.
Yeah. He should be fine, but they're really going after the turret here. You can see the satchel already placed down. That's what APA wants. There it goes. Kaboom! Jensen, last second ulti on himself, waits until the very final sliver of his health bar, but now CoreJJ's under pressure. Mega Inferno Bomb over the top, and Impact grabbing the first kill on Jensen as CoreJJ. The bailout would have to save him. It's still ticking, but it ain't gonna work. Isles gets the kill. Team Liquid looking for more. Isles back underneath the tier 2 turret, staying alive for now, and Yeon picks that one up too. Now it's a third coming in, a double kill over to Yeon as Spica falls, and Team Liquid's War Machine is online. Tier 2 turret drops to a satchel, and TL's happy about that one.
Demolition Squad goes to work. They blow up 2 towers, and Dig's idea was to try and delay with Jensen's ult and then with Spica's ult, but Spica pops the Kindred ultimate. Jensen is just out of the range and a little bit late there, and so they don't buy him that extra time, and they end up getting chased down for the kills on top of it. Dignitas still had their split pushing with Zven and with Renekton, but Sven's getting slowed and looks like he is toast too.
Yeah, there's no way out for him. As soon as you see the Xin Zhao show up, you know that there's no escape route that actually works, so he tries to turn and make it an even trade there against Yeon, but too much firepower from TL means that the Dignitas AD carry just dies for free. And now Dig trying to answer as TL goes after the Rift Herald. I don't know if they have an answer here, Kobe.
Yeah, I mean, Impact doesn't have teleport, so Dignitas coming in here and Team Liquid kind of respecting the push, knowing that their train god cannot join them.
The train god.
He's no longer the Forge god. He's god of trains. Meanwhile, Yeon over here has no flash, so has to give a wide berth to this Zillion and this topside presence from Dignitas, where they then pick up the Rift Herald.
And Isles just walks in, tanks a turret shot because he can. Impact grabbing that tier 1 in the bottom lane. So that's going to be the trade. Team Liquid, they claim that tier 1 turret in bot side for Impact. Spica's going to grab the Herald for Dignitas on the other side of the map. You can see the top lane tier 1 of TL is already very low. Should just die to a single Herald charge if that's where they want to spend it. APA trying to throw the satchel on the tier 1 turret in mid lane, but just barely out of the execution range.
Miscalculated there. Was hoping the little bit of extra dot damage was going to get it just low enough to blow up, but not quite. Maybe if they had the full six grubs.
I think the 6th grub would have done it.
If they had the 6 grubs, the other might, and the damage.
Ooh, uh-oh. Licorice face-checking a brush. Impact and UmTi both just waiting for him, though. Here comes the Ornhorn. Licorice forced to flash over the wall. Knows he would have been dead if he didn't. The Croc escapes, but without that flash, his threat's going to be significantly reduced.
Yeah, you got to respect the train god. Meanwhile, Jensen down here, split pushing away with Spica and Isles at his back. Ripfield gets half of the turret, and Spica comes in to try and finish, but APA zigs wave clear.
Yeah, he's doing a good job clearing away the minion waves, but maybe not good enough. One more hit on that turret's going to do it. Oh my goodness! It's still alive! The damage over time, it's not bringing it down far enough. Jensen has to flash away even after using the ulti, but now Isles is ready to counterattack here with a solar flare. True Shot Barrage comes in. APA and Core both taken low. Jensen still alive at about 300 HP as Spica goes too far forward. He's in the Lamb's Respite. He might still be able to try to step forward and claim the kill on the turret, but it ain't gonna work. CoreJJ's got a bomb in his head. It's gonna blow up, but he still ain't dead. Team Liquid keeps all 5 alive. Impact is shown back up here with the TP, but nothing else is gonna happen. At the end of the day, the dust settles. The turret still stands. Spica's still dead. UmTi kills the tier 1 turret over in mid, and APA is ready to throw more satchels at more turrets. Now here on the tier 2, Licorice wants to defend it, but man, it's scary here for the Renekton. He's got to be careful about this one. That turret ain't gonna last too much longer, and there it goes. It blows straight up as Licorice loses hysterics, trying to get back away. Nice crescent guard from UmTi, trying to stay alive a little bit longer, flashing out of the way the Mystic Shot as Licorice tries to dive forward into APA for the Ruthless Predator to lock him down. This single bomb shouldn't be enough to kill him. Takes him down to 300, but that's 300 too much for what Dignitas wanted.
Oh my goodness, Flowers, the action, back to back to back there. I love Kindred Zillion games just because we get so many moments that come down to like 2 HP or half a second or 1 Teemo's length of a distance of being able to get an ult off. That tower, by the way, had 2 HP left. And they barely did not finish it off. And that allowed the whole sequence of events where they chase them back. Look at this. So APA clears the minions. Spica goes backwards with the Q so they don't finish the tower. The autos from Jensen then don't finish it. Then he delays with his ultimate. Then we get the chase down. Look at Ash from mid lane coming through the jungle as CoreJJ isn't able to hit Jensen. And then they hit him with the Leona ult, but then countered by the CoreJJ ult, and only for Spica to dive forward, use his Kindred ultimate here and teleport in to get Satchel bombed out of it. And then you get a full chase down here as the TL coaches really focused on the back and forth in this one, and they squeeze out the extra little bit of kills there to further increase the gold lead.
All right, that gold lead almost 2,000 now for TL. 1 Drake to either side. That next Drake 8 spawning for another 3 minutes or so. Baron's live on the map, but man, we're only 20 minutes into the game, so it's still pretty risky, I think, for anybody to go for it. I feel like that's not going to stop them from fighting, though. Everybody seems to really like PvP in this game, and I really like when they really like PvP.
Same. Baron as well. Going to be some PvE going on, as Dignitas will come over and turn it into PvP as well.
All right, let's do it. Dignitas not willing to let him take it. Team Liquid ready to turn immediately. Jensen's going to be your target. They try to CC him down in time. He pops the ulti. He's invulnerable on top of the Lamb's Respite. Oh no, Dignitas, they layered their abilities incorrectly, and now that's going to be a problem. UmTi comes back to life thanks to the bailout. Team Liquid kills off Licorice. They kill off Spica. Jensen ulted himself, and Spica had to ult at the same time, so they ended up having conflicting lack of value, and now it's up to Zven, Isles, and Jensen to try to stop TL from being able to take the Baron. There is no smite available on the side of Dignitas. TL knows it is not going to be a flip. Jensen still trying to get away from the minefield, but APA gets the kill with the assist of CoreJJ. The Baron's going to get picked up by UmTi. Now Isles has to flash over the wall to escape impact. Zven's in trouble. Wind becomes lightning, but he shifts away in time. A massive sequence for Team Liquid.
Kindred Zillion is a really cool combo and a very famous combo, but it is not easy to play. And you highlight what small seconds of difference can mean, and if you are uncoordinated at all. Let's take another look at the chase down from Team Liquid here. This was really nice for them. They had gotten the pick, and so they forced on the Baron, and then Impact was there in the side brush, and the Train God getting the engages for TL. Plus they got the revive with CoreJJ's bailout. So Here's the look at how CoreJJ also is going to be able to go set up the kill. There's a minefield on the ground, so he flashes to handshake and throw Jensen across the mines. That is synergy. And you're saying, oh, what about the synergy between the Kindred and the Zillion? You have to have perfect timing, save each other, and you're going to be this unstoppable duo. But CoreJJ and APA actually showing more synergy in their two champions here, throwing them across the bombs.
CoreJJ, MVP of that fight for me easily. You touched on it a little bit with the bailout saving the jungler. If UmTi, it doesn't survive there, it's way harder to take the Baron. Licorice ain't getting out of this one. He is already dead. So Core keeping the jungler alive makes the Baron play happen. You already talked about how he sets it up for APA for the additional kill. CoreJJ on this Renata is an absolute menace in this game. Team Liquid, the game's been close for a long time, but they're looking to make that stop right here. Tier 3 turret in the top lane, already gone. APA's back in mid on the split push, while the other 4 players are looking to make sure that this topside inhibitor breathes no more. That one's out of the picture, and now the whole squad's gonna rotate over to mid to join up with APA. Remember, it's a level 15 Ziggs. Those satchels are, well, they don't exactly leave a lot of time for the turrets to stay alive. Mid lane inhib now under siege. Going for a little bit of poke here with UmTi. If he lands one of those wins, becomes lightning, they might just go in on top of it no matter who he hits. Zven having to flash out of the way of the Mega Inferno Bomb just to stay alive. Isles cut down to about 1/3 HP. Team Liquid with 2 inhibitors down in the Dignitas base, keeping the push alive here with Baron. The Orn Horn sounds off. Here comes the choo-choo train. Not a whole lot gets done, but they make enough space to grab the first Nexus turret. A nice handshake on Licorice brings him right back towards Team Liquid. Isles is in the back line, but it ain't gonna matter. Spica's here from the front. Another mistiming of ultis. Lamb's Respite and Zillion's ult, neither one's gonna matter. Ladies and gentlemen, Team Liquid, you give them an inch, they're gonna take a mile. They'll take down DIG.
They just dealt with it so well. I mean, we saw Ziggs satchel charge blowing him away from his own Kindred ultimate out of it. We see Renata ultimates sweeping across it, nullifying so many things. Team Liquid really, really nice in this one, especially CoreJJ. I like that shout out.
Yup, CoreJJ standing out as a hero in this game, making things happen at the point where everything truly exploded wide open.
And APA Ziggs once again able to rack up another win here for Team Liquid. The #1 team in the LCS remains on top in first place.
And now that Team Liquid has wrapped up the series, it's time to join Raz and CoreJJ for an interview.
Sweet. What's up, guys? I've got CoreJJ here for the post-game interview on this one. So, first things first, let's talk about that series. It got pretty hectic, chaotic overall. What's your immediate reaction coming out of it?
It was hectic, obviously, and then we were not doing like amazing thing in the scrim, so a bit expected. So I think it's really good that we win so that we can come back.
Yeah, especially because after game one, it felt like that was Team Liquid that people were expecting. You guys just smashed them in the first 5 minutes within that game. And then, of course, game 2 was different. There was a missed ban in game 2. Just any thought process on like the story behind that?
It was my time, right? And then I chose... Actually, I forgot it was my turn to ban. And then there was a no time, like very small time to ban. And then I'm usually very slow at banning.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And then the last game, your Renata play was exceptional. I felt like, did you expect the composition you were going up against when you see Jensen go on Zillion? And you guys end up taking away the Xin Zhao and all these things. So, like, just talk about the draft that you guys had to play against versus Dignitas.
Once they picked Jillian, we expected they're gonna pick the Kindred.
Yeah.
And then we don't know if like how good Kindred is or something. And hopefully our champion is actually good against their champion.
Yeah.
So like we didn't play very well, but our comp was better.
Yeah. Let's talk about just the break that you guys had. Well, most of the other teams were just scrimming for a solid 2 to 3 weeks. You guys ended up going over to EWC and played against some of the best teams out there. So, like, but then when you guys came back, first of all, did you guys have much of a break? Is burnout ever a thought process that you guys had? Because you guys obviously came through to MSI, now going back to another international. And also, what is the learnings that you guys had coming back after facing T1?
I think T1 was very good at punishing our mistake, and we realized how many mistakes we were making. And I don't know, when we come back, more than 1 hour, like patch was changing.
Yeah.
So we are trying to find out what is good and then adapting it.
Well, good luck to you guys' ability to adapt going into the next few weeks. Now that you guys ended up picking a win versus Dignitas, congratulations one more time.
Thank you.
All right, thank you guys, and we're going to be heading straight towards the break. Thank you.
Thank you.
Dude, why'd you put your new rig in the basement?
Didn't you hear? Bill's a good gillionaire now.
Basically, my new connection is so strong I can game anywhere. Check it out. We've got Gamer Rocker, Gamer Floaty, Gamer Couch,
Whoa.
It's got wheels.
Gamer Bench, Gamer Throne, and Gamer Mower.
What's that?
It's hard to game while walking downstairs.
I get it.
That's smart.
Live like a gigillionaire with low latency everywhere. AT&T Fiber with All-Fi.
Red Bull gives you wings.
I see you dancing, you can do it. We've been listening to this.